2030.
Council of Ministers approves amendments to 38 articles of the Saudi labor law. The Council of Ministers on Tuesday approved amending 38 articles of the labor law, in addition to the deletion of 7 articles and the addition of 2 new articles. The key updates are designed to enhance labor market in Saudi Arabia by improving job stability, safeguarding contractual rights, and fostering professional development and training opportunities for workers. The revisions also aim to increase employment prospects for Saudi citizens and include expanded definitions and guidelines on resignations, assignments, and grievance procedures for workers. I'm glad I'm reading this one because we have a Saudi labor expert on the show as a co-host. Lucky us.
The announcement also included increasing maternity leave from 10 to 12 weeks. So not a huge increase, but
What about paternity leave? What's up with that? Yeah.
It's like 3 days. So the Ministry
Better than
of
zero like it is in the United States. Yeah.
12 weeks is pretty much standard in the U.S. So I think Saudi often benchmark their policies against other economies, and it looks like this is kind of it's standard in the U.S. if you get it. So there isn't really a law that actually makes it happen, but there are standards that are set. So I think the number one place for maternity leave globally is Estonia. I looked this up the other day, followed by obviously a few other European countries, including the United Kingdom, actually. But so in addition to increasing maternity leave to 12 weeks, the Ministry of Human Resources and Social Development noted that the new amendments take into account the interests of all parties involved in contractual relationships. So this included an expansion of the item on vacations, labor contracts, adding definitions of the terms resignation and assignment, adding an article specifying the procedures for resignation, amending the grievance procedures, as you mentioned, and adding penalties for practicing the activity of employing workers without a license from the ministry. And the new amendments included fixing the notice period for terminating open-ended contracts at 30 days if the termination is sought by the worker, and 60 if the termination is done by the employer. It also specified probationary periods in the employment contract. So these are all things that really help companies create a more attractive work environment and give workers confidence, and just an elevation of procedures and governance processes for companies themselves.
Yeah, I mean, this is just awesome. It shows a very developing and increasingly modern governance structure in Saudi Arabia that is making its economy more competitive. The way you do that is by attracting workers, as you just said. And the way to attract workers is to give them competitive benefits that they would at least get elsewhere or here in the United States, more than you would get. And these types of things have incredible ripples into the Saudi economy. You have this affects families, obviously. Of course, it affects businesses, but if all businesses are on a level playing field, it doesn't really matter for them. As long as they're competing with each other, you're good. Love seeing this. This is a great story. I would love I would love some pat leave right around Halloween. It's not going to happen, but yeah, that's a little bit more progressive, you could say. It's definitely not much of a thing here. My buddy living in Germany got 6 months for pat leave and paternity leave, and I was just like, wow, man. Good for you. That's amazing. But yeah, love to see this. It's really cool.
I believe in Sweden you can get up to a year of paternity leave, but I think that you can divide it between the parents. So it's more like family leave, and you can decide who gets to take which portions of it. But some of it, and I was speaking to somebody in Sweden when I was just there a couple of weeks ago, who was saying that actually it's mandatory for the mother to take part of that family leave, which she wasn't a big fan of because she believes there should be more flexibility. So like even when you have the most progressive family leave policies, you still have people that have issues with how the laws are written out. So I think you'll never have everybody be fully satisfied. But what you can do, we all know that jobs are not just about salaries. And so improving these policies really do help people make decisions about the type of work they're willing to do and what kinds of benefits they are, looking for, and how companies can then take these as a baseline and build on top of that to create more lucrative and, kind of attractive workplaces.
Yeah, totally. I wonder how that would go here in my house. Hey, honey, great job on the birth. You're headed back to work tomorrow. I'm taking the year off. All those days are mine. I got the kid, no problem. Thank you so much. But very, very cool. Really great to see these sort of, I mean, maybe not under the radar, but not, major headline development things happening in Saudi Arabia. And if you turn away for 1 week or twice a week as we do this show, you may miss something like this. This is significant. This impacts many angles and many corners of the Saudi economy and sends really a message globally that this is in fact a country that is reforming, and it's not just the top level things that you're reading about. It goes all the way down to the way governance works in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So mabruk to the authorities and to all the families and workers that will benefit from this.